welcome back to Geek Show Arcade. Oh, yeah.
Back again. Riveting.
Right.
I'm here this week, guys.
Riveting in between show, I want to say. Riveting.
You're present. I'm not sure if you're actually here, though.
I tuned out during the in-between. You guys are having the most boring conversation in the entire world.
You're
in-between minus
That's
50.
rude.
You disagree.
You're rude.
I think that was our best in between, honestly.
Yeah, seriously.
He doesn't know how he feels about the in-between. No, he does know how he feels about the in-between. It's Lando.
Hey, it's Lando. I'm Lando. I'm not Jaron. I'm a baseball fan. I sometimes play video games, not often, however. But I'm here. I'm going to contribute. I'm going to have a good attitude. I'm going to put in the effort. It's going to be a great show. I'm here for you, dear listener.
You know, that just sounds like he's telling himself that, like, to make it, to, like, put it out there in the universe.
There's a little bit of that.
I don't think he actually believes that.
No, that's he's manifesting it. That's all.
Yeah. Manifest my fist right
It's the secret.
Oh, man, the secret. I can't believe everyone bought into that for as long as they did.
I know, right?
That was wild. It even had me questioning at first. I was like, wait,
what?
Does this actually work? No way this actually works.
No way.
What? No
It was
way.
the scene in it when the guy's like, I just envisioned myself getting money. And then checks started showing up in the mail. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
I do it when trying to find a parking spot, only because I have nothing to lose.
That was another
it
big
work?
one. They talked about that.
That's what I'm talking about, Jaron. Safe manifesting, where there is really no risk, right? Like,
Yeah.
Jaren's vision board, just a bunch of parking spaces.
yeah,
close
parking
to wherever
spots,
he's
grocery lanes with no people in them.
Yep. All that good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jaren, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jaron, spot getter extraordinaire.
Hot?
Nailed
Parking spot getter extraordinaire.
Oh, I thought you said pot
you
extraordinaire.
pay for
I'm
the
like,
summoning?
That's a different show.
Can you summon your Tesla, Jaron, or do you not have that package? Can you summon it?
I did for a month.
Iron Man style?
Like, yeah, he can summon his Tesla and watch
the
it do
full-
goofy things. It's like watching a chicken walk through a farmyard. Yeah, they don't really
James
know.
got some chickens. They're fun. I like them.
He got chicken.
He also got a Tesla.
Chickens are
He did.
delicious. All
James,
right.
where are you? Sorry.
Owen.
I'm not James. I miss James. James, come back. It's a downer. Now I'm down. Owen, you can follow me here. I
I'll
guess.
try and summon him on the podcast.
Yeah.
The super secret Slack channel.
He's never around. Poor us. Oh, sorry. There you go. Moving right along. We have a host. His name's Tony. Sorry, just had a quick kernel panic.
It's okay. Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony or on other Geek Show podcasts. All right. Emails? Do we have any emails?
No.
No emails on this show either?
No.
That's
Nope.
okay. No worries.
Sometimes I don't feel like our listeners love us.
Well, it's feast or famine,
Yeah, we had
We
4
either
or
have
5 the other day.
or we have 0.
Yeah, that was bonkers.
And that's okay. If you do want to email us any questions about video games or comments, what's our email address? geekshowarcade@gmail.com. That's what our email address is. geekshowarcade@gmail.com. All right, let's get right into the news then. It's Gamescom week over in Cologne, Germany.
A lot of announcements.
And they have a lot of announcements, and I think I'm getting old. I think I'm getting jaded.
You're like, these aren't great.
I watched the whole presentation, the whole open live night or whatever.
And nothing was like,
And
got you out of your chair.
No, there was one thing that I really looked forward to, and it's not a video game.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're the host of a video
It's
game
like,
podcast.
I just
Was it
didn't
like
see
a
anything that really
computer
turned
desk
my
or something?
trigger that hadn't already been announced. Let me put it that way. I didn't see any new stuff that made me go, "Oh, frick yeah!" This year yet. There's still a couple more days of Gamescom, so maybe some more stuff will come out that really gets me excited. We're gonna go over some or all of those games very, very briefly. And then we have some other news as well. Let's talk first about the game that is taking Steam by storm. It is now the #1 played single-player game in the history of Steam, like concurrent players at one time, and that would be Black Myth Wukong.
I've heard of this. I've even heard of this.
I've never heard of this.
This
That's
is
not
considered
surprising.
China's first true AAA game. It is a looker.
Ooh, is it ever?
It's a story of Journey to the West.
The Monkey King.
Which other games have tried to do in the past before?
I would say there
Odyssey
was
of the West was one.
Yeah, I would say Enslaved was. I thought that was an underrated gem. I really enjoyed Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Anyway, it is kicking butt. It's had up to 2.2 million concurrent players at once, which is it's the record, right?
That's the record.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and this game just came out of nowhere a couple years ago in a trailer, and it made people go crazy.
I thought for sure it was going to be one of those ones like, what was that one game that was supposed to be amazing and turned out it was just trash and vaporware, basically. Came out last year. You know what I'm talking about? There's that post-apocalyptic one that was supposed to be like...
Oh, the one set in Russia? Atomic Heart?
No. This one was way worse than that. It was that one that was supposed to be kind of like The Division and Resident Evil had a baby.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't even remember the name of it now. It was so bad.
I know.
Everyone was so hyped about that, and it came out, and it was just a giant turd. I thought Black Myth Wukong was going to be the same thing. It was going to be something that these developers, all they cared about was making the trailer look good, and the game wasn't actually going to be any good. But man, I'm loving being wrong about this. This game
looks
awesome.
neat. The graphics are amazing, and that's kind of the funny thing, because usually games that require very expensive hardware don't do nearly as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is just like destroying everything, and it's a heavy game.
Yep.
It probably helped that they put out a benchmarking tool a week ago to see if your PC could run it.
Very smart move.
Yeah, very smart move. I've heard that it's pretty buggy right now. So, like with any game, wait a couple months, it'll be cheaper and a lot less buggy. So,
yeah,
there you go.
One of the cool things that this dev team did with this game is they had a very close partnership with NVIDIA, and it takes advantage of all the NVIDIA ray tracing goodies.
Yummy.
Not only did they have a heavy partnership with NVIDIA, they actually are using the game engine is a custom offshoot of Unreal Engine 5 that is NVIDIA like touched. NVIDIA went in and kind of changed some things to make it their own to better use the NVIDIA GPUs. And that's
it's not full ray tracing, like full path tracing. It doesn't
not path tracing, but
it doesn't have ray reconstruction either. But beyond that,
they call it full ray
everything.
tracing, but it's not path tracing. That's the next step above full ray tracing. But yeah, I would love to see them put in path or ray reconstruction, because that would make it even better, and it would actually free up some of the performance as well.
These guys have had kind of a sordid past, though. Their studio science, whatever it is,
game science.
Game science. Did you see the NDA that people had to get on the early release, and like they're flipping out some very Activision Blizzard vibes with like when on some of their hiring stuff, like there was a dumbbell that says fatties need not apply, or no, fatties can F off is what it says, like. And it has a picture of a dumbbell. Like there's
does that work?
I don't know. I don't think you can do that here. Maybe that's just a China thing. Anyway, that was one of the things that they could not talk about as
I didn't see the fatties part, but I did read the rules that they gave, and the rules
can't talk about COVID, can't talk about feminism, propaganda.
Was pretty much all of the things that the Chinese government considers taboo.
Yeah. Well, the feminist propaganda, basically they were saying you cannot bring up any of the misogyny or sexism at science at game science. Game science. So that's why they put that in. Anyway, because there's some pretty hefty, like, I don't know, people. If you have some issues with the way that Activision Blizzard, this place not doing so great compared to this. But the game is awesome. It's Souls-like, which is really cool. I mean, I'm in.
I heard it was linear too, which has me interested.
More linear.
Yep.
I like my linear games.
Indeed, I like a wide linear where you feel like you're exploring, but you're actually
still moving along.
To go in kind of
like a valley,
right?
Direction.
Like
you got
like a wide valley.
No invisible walls within.
Half-Life 2 was so good at that. Like it wasn't wide, but when you explored, you think that can't be the way forward, and you try it out, and it turns out it is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I like that you can miss things if you don't go look over there, right? So like you could just go straight through it and stay in the middle of the valley and just progress through the game. But when they do those wide, you can go out and see other stuff. You know, I really got into that in Baldur's Gate, where you were still being guided through in a way,
Yeah, Baldur's Gate's a
but
good example
still,
of that.
but
yeah.
still pushed, but still allowed to miss things if you don't look around. Like you have a different gameplay experience. So.
Yep. Kind of mini open world. All right. Well, there you go. That's the update for Black Myth Wukong. Make of it what you will. Decide if you want to vote or vote with your dollars. Decide if you want to support it or not.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's getting a lot of support right now. That is
it's
sure.
a beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful game. I mean,
Let's see. Okay, we got to talk about this guy before we get to Gamescom. There is a dude, and Lang tipped me off to this guy the other day before it hit the main, or at least I think before I noticed it on any of the main news stuff. There is a dude. He's in the running.
He puts you to shame on your.
Oh man, he's in the running for the new game. The new Geekshow arcade patron saint.
Patron saint. Mm-hmm.
This guy
is he overthrowing you?
We don't have one. We don't have one
okay.
for arcade right now. But this
Okay.
guy is he has 444 different gaming devices connected to one TV.
Okay, this is what blew my mind because I wasn't even aware that there was more than 20. 30. Let's go crazy. 50. Okay, 50, and I was like, that's a lot over the last 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, I thought it was 44 at first. Like, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
You're
that
like,
sounds about
44?
right.
That's a lot. No,
Yeah.
add another 4.
Oh, this guy's got them all. So even some like rare, only Asian release stuff.
Some crazy stuff. If you watch this video, you see, if you know your console history, you'll watch this video and it's just like picking out Easter eggs in Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, I know that. Hey, look at that. Look at that thing that they're not even talking about. They're just moving the camera across it.
Yeah.
And he's got the Sega Tower of Power, every piece of it plugged in.
Wow.
He's got, okay, here's one that blew my mind. He has an N64 with the disk drive attachment that only came out in Japan and only sold a few, where it sits
that's
on
right.
top of the N64 and actually takes like a
Plugs
floppy
into the-
disk style or a seat. Remember how they used to have those CDs inside cases that the case stayed on it when you inserted it into the it's something kind of like that. The Nintendo 64 DD disk drive.
Can you imagine all of the AA batteries he has to keep around?
So many. And the funniest thing about it is you watch this guy, he does a demo for the interviewer. First, he has to go over to this computer and look up this giant Excel spreadsheet to know what
Which
source
switches,
on what device and what audio signal and all of that stuff to get a certain console to play on the TV. And then he goes over and he pushes the buttons on the various boxes.
No. Have you seen this video? He's got an ultra-wide monitor, but like a 1024 by 768 resolution. It's just stretched like crazy.
Yeah.
Like he has that many consoles hooked up to the TV, but he can't set his monitor resolution correctly.
He's got 12 HDMI switchers.
12.
Like 12, and I don't need it like
More than 12.
more than
says.
yeah, more than 12. I like that the article goes more than 12, so 13.
13?
I was waiting for them to do the over 30 and be like, so 31,
Yep.
but they didn't follow that.
Over 30 RCA switchers.
Yeah. Switchers
yeah,
for
you
pre-HD.
just-
Pre-HD.
Go check out this video. It is mind-boggling what this guy has put together. And rightfully so, he's earned a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records for his collection and the fact that it's all running up to one TV.
Yeah, I think the presentation could be better. I feel like he could put these on
mean,
the wall and
it
do like
could,
some
but-
cable management and make a whole room of it. But
that would be,
You
I
know?
mean, the amount of work it took to get this working by itself.
I mean, if you have these consoles though, and it's just a matter of running HDMI cables and stuff, like I feel like it could have been just a tiny bit better presented. But it's still
Yeah.
amazing the feed itself.
I'm sure it could be, but man, it would be
This
triple
is like
the
my
work.
Steam library, but in hardware.
But in hardware, exactly.
Well, like also, do you think he picked these up new? Like, has he been a game system collector, or do you think that he
I bet it's
decided one day that he was like, I have to get everything? Because
it's
I'll be
both.
honest, 444, that's blowing my mind just because I didn't even have a concept that there were that many systems since the original Nintendo, right? Like, I mean, obviously Atari and those
before
ones
that,
too, but
yeah.
but like
Commodore 64,
Yeah, right.
Atari,
all the stuff way
Intellivision.
before, all the stuff way before my time for all those old people out there.
Yep, so.
I said that for Swinky. I feel like I just triggered him.
All right, yeah, check that video out. It is crazy and really neat. Let's see. Let's talk about. Should we dive into the Gamescom stuff?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
So let me throw on my thing. My one thing that got me really excited at Gamescom wasn't a video game. It is a new series coming to Amazon Prime from the creators of Love, Death, and Robots, which is a
Yes.
fantastic
Yeah.
series, anthology series on Netflix. Same guys, but they're doing it this time with video game worlds. And so they will have a 15 episode series on Amazon Prime, working in conjunction with the video games IP owners and creators to tell stories in these universes.
Oh yeah.
And the universes they're telling,
I see why you like
a
it.
few of them are like meh, like Concord, which is just barely coming out for PlayStation. We talked about that one a little while back. It's brand new IP. It's another hero 5 versus 5 shooter, meh. But
Boy, they didn't get the
feels like
memo
they-
on that,
the
didn't
memo
they?
on that one. Yeah, they must have already been working on it for a while. The guy that introduced it is Tim Miller, who is one of the main guys behind Love, Death, and Robots. He's also the director of the first Deadpool movie, if that is of any note for you. Other games. Here's the games that it's going to be on, or going to be episodes for. Crossfire. That's another one that's kind of like meh. But then
You'll
you
be
got.
caught up in the
I wish it was the game.
Crossfire.
How funny would that be? We got Spelunky, we got Exodus, we got Mega Man, Armored
I'm excited
Core,
for that one.
Honor of Kings, Pac-Man, The Outer Worlds 2, Dungeons and Dragons, New World Aeternium, Unreal Tournament, Warhammer 40K, Sifu, and God of War.
There it is. That's the one Tony's excited for.
I'm only
right
excited for
man.
like 2 of those.
So here's the thing. If you've watched any of the Love, Death, and Robots
So good.
shows, they are freaking fantastic. And the way they take these sci-fi ideas and kind of turn them on their head is what makes me excited about some of these. Like, what are they going to do with Pac-Man? How are
Right.
they going to make Pac-Man
How do you do that without a
interesting?
joke, right? Like they've tried
Yeah.
that before, and it's just this whack whack whack. Like, how do you make a ball that, like,
How do you make a whole episode of
Yeah.
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Telling a story.
And so the episodes are kind of standalone, right? Like they don't.
Yeah,
there's
each
no
one's
through line.
standalone.
Okay.
No. So there. Well, I take that back. There is one series that continues from each season. They usually get 2 or 3 episodes per season, and that's the robots. This is in Love, Death, and Robots. That's the robots that are in the future, walking around in the post-Armageddon world, looking
that
at
the one?
old artifacts.
Yeah, is that
of
one
US.
that's on the cover of this teaser trailer? Secret Level. Looks like one of
No,
them
Secret
robots.
Level is the name of the project.
Oh, I see.
the video game project. Anyway, very excited for that. That comes out in December. They've been working on it for over 3 years. He said so.
I'm stoked for
Anyway.
the Mega Man. What ones get you excited, Jaron?
Look how sleepy he is.
My cognitive decline is faster than Biden at a debate right now.
Whoa.
Man, that's bad.
Hey-o.
You still have to introduce all of the games from Gamescom that you want to talk about.
Okay, I'll do
Yeah.
God of War and what was that other one?
I'm excited also for Unreal Tournament. I think
Yeah,
that
that'll
one
be-
might be interesting.
I want to see what kind of story they're going to tell with Unreal Tournament.
No idea what they could do with Unreal, but I'm glad it's at least getting some attention because I'm kind of mad at Epic for burying Unreal.
Agreed. Lando, do you recognize any of these? Nope. All right, moving along.
Sorry.
I'm in for Mega Man. That's mine.
You don't recognize Mega Man, Pac-Man?
That's
I mean, I recognize
I'm in for
some.
Mega Man. I'm in for Exodus.
I need a
Let's
list.
see, Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, how can they outdo the movie? I don't know.
Oh, that's an underrated gem.
I love that movie.
Yep.
And then Unreal Tournament, I'm kind of excited for. God of War, obviously. That has story for days. So.
Oh man, that series amazing. All right, moving along. Let's talk about. We don't need to talk about every game that was announced, but let's hit the highlights, Jaron.
Yeah, there's plenty more announced that I'm not even going to touch, and some of these I'm just going to brush by. I don't care about Genshin Impact, but a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. Yeah.
And it's finally coming to Xbox. It's been on every other platform for a long time. So, hooray, Microsoft. The one I'm excited about the most out of all of these announcements, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I hate that name, but I'm excited for the game. It's coming out officially December 9th on Xbox and PC. And Scandal, PS5 in the spring.
Can you believe that? No, we knew that was going to start to happen, but I was a little surprised to see that it's only going to be a couple months. I thought
it'd be more like a year.
A year, 8 months, a year, but
you probably want to cash it on the hype cycle still.
Yep, for sure.
Makes sense. And one of the worst gaming franchises out there, much worse than Uncharted, Borderlands is getting a new installment coming 2025.
I see what you did there, you son of a bitch.
Borderlands 4? They should have stopped at 1, honestly.
I heard the movie sucked.
I just have.
we're not gonna
Much
talk
worse
about
than the
that.
Uncharted movie.
I'm sorry. I have a loot problem in that game because
never-
I need to grab everything.
There is
I'm
too
a
much
vac-
loot, so
I'm
it
a
becomes all
vacuum.
meaningless.
Never had
That's
too
like
much.
I have loot
False.
anxiety because unless they give you an infinite,
Can never
An
have too much
infinite-
loot.
there's too much loot,
backpack.
and it's just becomes
I have to
meaningless.
right? It's
totally
like
meaningless.
like
Give me the loot.
oh,
Loot,
like
loot.
I had to go back and sell stuff just because I couldn't leave it.
Yeah. Loot.
Anyway, it was awesome, but man,
I'm
I
very
got,
feels like
excited
Borderlands
for-
3 just came out.
I got
for
trapped
some
by
reason.
it.
Borderlands 3, I think, came out 4 years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's been
Man.
out for a while.
Didn't you
So
play that a
there-
lot, Tony?
I played it so much. The Borderlands 4 trailer is no gameplay, no story, no nothing. It was just a planet plowing through a ice asteroid field, and then you see something fall to the planet that was on fire, and it's the bandit mask that's on all the covers.
I bet they were
Absolutely
hoping that announcement coincided with the good reception of the movie.
You know what's funny is Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox, actually kind of made a joke about the movie on Twitter the other day. What did he say? Anyway, keep going and I'll find this. It was one of those things that made me go, "Oh my gosh, that's wow!" You harshing your own thing.
Anyway, Final Fantasy 16 is coming to PC September 17th.
Is that the newest one or whatever?
That's the newest one. That was only on PS5 before. The sales weren't great for that game. They weren't bad, but it wasn't up to their expectations.
I might play it if it comes to PC.
Yeah, and I think this just shows publishers that you need to go multi-platform going forward.
Yep.
Yep.
We're sick of it. We're sick of it.
Yeah. Game I'm excited for. I hope it's good, but given BioWare's recent problems, we'll see. Dragon Age The Veilguard is officially out October 31st, and the graphics requirements are shockingly minimal.
Ooh.
Their minimum recommended GPU is the GTX 970, which came out like 10 years ago.
Old, yeah.
So on the one hand, that's nice for handhelds, but kind of a shame that they're not going to be pushing any graphics technology out. Avowed has been pushed to 2025. It was supposed to come out this year, but Microsoft has a lot of games coming out this year, so they want some breathing room for that.
Yeah,
I think that's supposed to come out in February.
We knew that already.
And those are the announcements that stood out to me.
Yeah, there was a ton of games. I mean, the opening video itself, where they kicked it off, I think was like 2 hours long, and they showed off a bunch of indie stuff. You know, there was some interesting stuff shown off, but there wasn't a whole lot of really new, super like attention grabber kind of announcements. So anyway, I can't find this. Tweet. Maybe he deleted it. Oh well. Anyway,
I think if I remember right, it's something about there's a silver lining here because
the story's much better for Borderlands 4.
It just shows how much interest that people have in the games, and
Yeah.
they're disappointed in the movie because of that, or something like that.
Oh, here it is. Found it. So what you're saying is you like what my friends and I do with our Borderlands video games even more than you like what some of the biggest and best cast and crew of filmmakers on the planet have done. I'm super flattered. We're working extra hard on 4 for you.
Don't know why he
Nice.
considers Eli Roth
Yeah.
in that category.
Top tier? What?
Yep.
All right. So there you go. And there's going to be, we'll have more Gamescom coverage next week because it's ongoing for the next few days after we record this. And we'll see if there's anything else that looks really cool. They did show about 4 minutes of Black Ops 6 single player campaign, which I'm just excited that they're putting time and effort into the single player campaigns on Call of Duty, and not just another remake, but they're having the whole big thing for Black Ops 6 by itself later this week. So what else?
Speaking of Black Ops, though, Activision's finally doing something about the crazy install sizes of Call of Duty.
Kind of.
They're
what
making
can
it
they
so
do?
that Warzone isn't
Bundled in.
bundled in,
Yeah.
pretty much. But they are also doing some compression in other areas. So we'll see what that actually means in real life.
EA's
but-
been doing that too, where you can like download pieces if you don't want this part or this or these shaders or like you can pull some stuff out of the download, right?
I'm not sure why this is making news anyway, because Call of Duty has been able to do this for a couple years. You've been able to go in and tell it what you want installed and what you don't want installed. So I think it's just because before it automatically downloaded Warzone and the newest game when you downloaded it, whereas now you can tell it just the game from the get-go.
It's like when
But-
Apple was putting music into people's library. They'll just
Yeah,
play it. They'll play
nobody
it
wants
if
this
they.
too.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Wait, everybody wants this.
They're also doing texture streaming, which for single player games I don't like because it requires an online connection, but for
Yeah.
multiplayer you need to be online anyway.
Exactly. And so how much space can you actually save by texture streaming? Because that-
Textures make up most of the size of games.
but that implies that you're guaranteeing or needing people to have a big enough pipe that they'll be able to run
Saves you.
multiplayer with enough.
A lot of people do.
leftover. Yeah, but I just don't think I don't
Enough?
think that's not the
Enough?
answer.
Is
This
infrastructure there yet? You know?
Yeah, this isn't the answer.
I mean, that's essentially what Flight Simulator's been doing.
Streaming the textures.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Flight Simulator doesn't need a super fast, low latency connection so you can win. You know, it's a slow
Not
fly through
competitive,
the air,
right.
non-competitive.
You can still download things and have low latency.
You can, but it's harder. Point is, I think they just need to work on their texture compression. You know, quit trying to find these workarounds and just make better texture compression. It's not like the consoles now don't have way better storage unpacking methods than the old ones did.
Yeah.
The Xbox
Throw
and
some
the PS5.
7-zip on there, you know, like 7-zip.
Just put some,
WinRAR, you know?
Well,
Or
like
WinRAR.
eventually ray tracing should help with this because right now with baked lighting they have to
do
bake
all-
all of the
yeah,
different textures,
that's
which takes
true.
up a lot more space.
That's true. So anyway, we'll see. But I guess something is better than nothing as far as an attempt goes. G-Sync. We actually got some NVIDIA announcement.
I think we should hear a Lando story.
I don't have any.
I was going to say he doesn't have anything down there.
You had so much, I figured, what's the point?
Yeah. You can have one of mine.
I gave you one last week before I left. Did you notice?
Yeah, I had to go into it, and they were like, "Oh, you didn't put that on there," and then I sent it full send.
I knew you would. That's why I did it.
Yeah, you knew I was
Classic.
gonna like full send, and I hadn't even read it, and I think I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Nice.
That's just your default rating for
It is.
everything.
It's so good though, because it kind of is just like Like, how do you fight with 8 out of 10? It's not the best, but it's not the greatest.
So
but it's above par.
All that's to say, Jaron, I want some points for helping Owen out last week, and I wasn't even there.
Yeah, he had a story last
You
week.
weren't there. You left, so you
we
don't get any
shouldn't-
points.
We shouldn't have to have him do it.
You must be present to win.
Okay.
Must be present to collect points.
What points are we playing
right.
for? I don't have any of those.
Well, this is the game where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Tony awards them.
That's right. Doesn't matter. NVIDIA announced a partnership with MediaTek, another partnership with MediaTek, I should say.
This is some good news, actually.
And this is some good news because they are going to start including all of the G-Sync hardware requirements on these MediaTek SoCs.
Right, built in.
that
No more
are
having
built-
to have a unique board, right?
That's right. There's a lot of so what a lot of people maybe don't know is there's quite a bit of computation going on in your monitors anyway and your TVs anyway, and MediaTek's been in that space for a number of years to provide the things like the scaling and the making the picture look correct on the panel and all that jazz. And so NVIDIA has teamed up with them to start just including all of the G-Sync stuff going forward on some of their chips that they use for monitors. So you
I'm
don't
very excited for this
Yeah,
because
in the-
G-Sync is superior to
It
FreeSync.
is.
And with new features coming up like Pulsar, which is the black frame insertion with VRR.
How much superior, though? Because that's what drove this, was FreeSync and whatever the other one is. There's another one.
So if I were to compare it, I've used VSync, I've used VRR, FreeSync,
FreeSync,
and VRR, which is a separate thing as well, and G-Sync, and I would say the difference is basically G-Sync is like an A and FreeSync is a B. Like FreeSync is still quite good and it gets the job done most of the time, but G-Sync is superior and it offers newer features more regularly than FreeSync, like this Pulsar where you get black frame insertion
right.
on high frame rate games and things like that. But the thing about the old G-Sync module is it usually was an added cost to the manufacturing of a monitor for
Usually
the
like
ultimate.
a couple $100 more.
Yeah, for the ultimate
Yeah.
the G-Sync Ultimate module was about $200.
Yeah.
And that's base cost, not $200 added on to the consumer, which I'm sure the cost got passed to them anyway, but that's before the inflation of, they got to put their cut in and make more money on that.
That's the reason I was asking if you could tell is because you and Jaron are really connoisseurs of video and the pixels, but like most people if a B was free,
Yeah,
which is
and
what
that's
FreeSync
what
was,
it is.
drove like all these vendors, MSI, like they were putting FreeSync in because they didn't have to pay royalties for it.
Yep.
And so
NVIDIA acquiesced quite a bit about 2 years ago when they came up with G-Sync compatible
right.
instead of just the G-Sync module. And G-Sync compatible is basically just a refined version of FreeSync.
Is it Microtech that's doing it?
MediaTek?
MediaTek.
Yeah.
They're just going to be putting it right onto the MediaTek
Right onto
hardware
the SoC.
too. Yeah. So
pretty cool stuff. It should hopefully drive the cost down of the
Quite a
G-Sync
bit. I mean-
monitors. A couple $100.
yeah.
Which is great because I'm in the market in a year or so.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, Owen, it's time for that Game Pass update.
Oh, I got a Game Pass update.
Let's go.
Where is that? Hold on.
These are my
Let's
favorite
go
thing in
to
the entire world.
Game Pass update. Where is it? There it is. Hold on. I have to pull that up. I didn't think you were actually going to call on me. Oh, I know. Well, here we go, my guys. Here we go. If I got a Game Pass month for you with 10 days left. So
10 days left in August. Here's what's coming in August.
here's what's coming in August. Here's what came in August. Anyway.
Starting
here's
August
what
30th.
Yeah,
no,
August 22nd. August 21st, there's going to be some more. So some of it's timely, but most of it is on par with what I usually report, which is in the past. So
Huzzah.
there has been some stuff. Atlas Fallen Cloud and Core Keeper. Those are coming out this this next week, 22nd, 27th. Star Trucker. I'm excited.
I'm actually kind of curious about this one.
I don't know why that's on this dumb article because that says September 3rd. So that one's ruining my future vibe. I don't know what the frick's going on with that, but
Do you know what Star Trucker is, though? Have you read about
No,
this?
it sounds dirty. It really
It is. No, it's TR, not F.
Sounds dirty.
Star Trucker.
Oh, trucker.
You drive an intergalactic semi.
Scavenge for salvage. You're a scrapper.
You are a trucker and a hauler across the universe. It's like, what? Okay, well, I mean, this sounds crazy, but I'll give it a shot.
Well, here's the other thing. I'm looking for some of the other games. There's not a lot. You know, they didn't really do so great. This wasn't a good month for that. But let's move to some sad news. What is leaving? Oh, so sad. August 31st. Atomic Heart is leaving cloud, console, and PC. Guilty Gear Strive with 2 hyphens is also leaving cloud, console, and PC. And last but definitely least, NBA 2K24 is leaving cloud and console. But that means you can still play it on PC if you really like playing those kind of games.
Yep.
I don't think it was included to begin with, though, was it?
Was it not on PC to begin
Look,
with?
I don't make those rules, nor do I do that research. So, but if you want to know what's going on and coming out on the Game Pass, you should go look that up because this is definitely the poorest reporting of the podcast.
All right, moving
There you
along.
go. Boom.
Okay, neat confirmation coming out of Valve. They have announced officially, for sure, that they're going to support the Ally with SteamOS sometime in the future.
This is very neat.
Is it though?
It is. Yeah.
It's
Like
neat on
with-
some
like-
aspects. It's not necessarily needed in other aspects. Because
Why would you do it?
Now that the Ally X has 24 gigs of RAM, I don't think I would do it on that. But the original Ally, which only has 16 gigs of RAM,
it's more resource
Lowers that footprint,
yeah,
right?
SteamOS is better at managing the VRAM and not VRAM
Absolutely.
Yeah.
thing. So I think for some games you'll see a performance uplift. Again, though, with SteamOS, you won't be able to run some games because it's not
Yeah.
Windows.
Do you get the same
That's the
features?
problem.
Like, can you map a Steam button so you can just sleep
Yeah,
it
yeah.
and come back?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sweet.
Yep, you'll be able to map everything.
The
It's not
problem-
out yet. They just announced that they're officially going to support it as well as other handhelds.
The
So,
biggest
very
issue
neat.
with that is going to be there's games that use anti-cheat, and the only reason you can play them on the Ally is because it uses Windows and it runs the anti-cheat stuff. So things like Fortnite and
Halo.
Halo. What's the one?
Actually, Halo works on it.
Oh, does it? Multiplayer on Steam Deck? No way.
Pretty sure?
No, it uses
It has
uses
anti-cheat
easy
for sure.
anti-cheat, and that
Yeah.
doesn't run. I don't think
No, it does. Like, it's supported, but developers have to.
they have to do the work. Yeah.
It's not much work. They just have to agree
It's
to
like
it pretty
it's
much.
like a
Oh, okay.
checkbox.
Yeah. So
But on
some
Windows-
anti-cheat games work, but others don't.
On Windows, it's just default, right? It just works. So that is one thing to keep in mind when you're looking at that. But I think it's a win overall. I think it's cool to have SteamOS on other platforms.
Yeah. Like, I've been playing Halo Infinite on my Steam Deck.
Have you liked
Oh,
it?
nice.
Not
I-
multiplayer, single player. So
Single
maybe
player,
multiplayer doesn't work. I don't know.
I played all the way through that old Warhammer 40K Space Marines game on Steam Deck and Ally, only in handheld mode, and it ran awesome. And that's a fun game. The new one's coming out in like a month, I think.
What's your guys' favorite game on the LAX so far? What's the one you've been like, this is really good?
Ghost of Tsushima runs beautifully on it, and
Oh,
it looks
nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been mostly playing that Warhammer game, actually.
Nice.
So I'm still playing a game that came out in the Xbox 360 era. But, whatever. I'll pick a new game and start playing it. All right. Let's see. I think we're going to wrap it up. Do we have any lightning rounds real quick that we want to do?
Yeah, I got a lightning round.
Okay, I got one real quick as well. Finally, some good news. You remember Tango Gameworks, Hi-Fi Rush?
Oh yeah.
They actually got saved.
Somebody
so
snatched them up.
somebody snatched them up. Yep.
When will it be loaded? Get it?
Saved and loaded. I got it. So the let's see, where'd it go?
PUBG owner Crafton.
Yeah, the PUBG, the company that owns PUBG, snapped them up, and I think the latest thing I read was that they were going to be able to keep on at least half of the devs.
Oh, that's
from the company before then. So it's kind of a bummer that they all don't get to go over there, but it's pretty freaking cool that the company's going to stay just in general.
Yeah.
Because I like Tango Gameworks. They made a lot of really neat games. The Evil Within games, I thought they were a lot of fun. Hi-Fi Rush was way cool. So there you go. Some good news.
Some executive's kid was like, fine, I'll buy it.
Buy these.
Buy it, Dad. I want to play this.
And then they look at the game library and they're like,
Fine.
Oh, actually, this might be a good idea.
Oh, I like that.
Jaron, lightning round.
Epic Game Store, which is selling Fortnite, Rocket League, and Fall Guys, is officially out on iPhone in the EU and Android worldwide. Ooh. So Fortnite is back on mobile for most people, not all people.
I guess
not for the US.
You get it on Android.
I can't
in the
wait.
US, though,
how do it's out globally. How do you think people are going to get around that in the US? How is I guess Apple.
Yeah.
I guess Apple uses the SIM to geolocate.
Yeah,
any type of traffic.
I don't know how they do that, but I'm
even
sure
a VPN wouldn't work.
Probably what'll happen is someone will figure it out, and it'll be really complicated, and it won't really make a dent in it.
Apple will fill the gap and it won't be available anymore.
Yeah, well, and Apple's good about that, right? They're like, you
no touchy.
Violated
our toys.
You violated the EULA. Goodbye.
Yeah,
like they'll just brick your phone, right? At this point, they're like, good day.
They'll probably won't brick your phone, but they would probably close your Apple ID account.
Yeah.
Like,
which is
that's pretty much equates to the same thing.
Like, and I lost access to all my pictures, all my stuff, all my texts, all my everything.
Did you have a lightning round, Owen?
I do not.
All right, Lando, did you have a lightning round? Lando,
you got to come. Oh, you got to come off mute. Oh, there he is. Hey,
I'm here.
Lando!
I'm listening.
Hey, bud.
Lando!
I have nothing to add.
Oh,
Lando,
right.
what game do you play on the toilet right now?
TikTok.
The TikTok game.
Oh, doom scrolling. I love doom scrolling.
Yeah.
All
right, maybe Instagram.
The Instagram. Oh, that's a good one.
That's the end. That is the end of our show today. Thanks for listening. Before we go, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers. Patreon.com/GeekShowHelpDesk. No, HelpDesk Arcade. Patreon.com/HelpDesk Arcade. If you feel like donating, if you do $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air along with the other tier perks. And for that shout out, Jaron has it right now.
Thank you to David Broshinsky, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesaw, and Wolfball Tony. Thank you, guys. Jason Eatman, Mies Chonies, If It Flies, It Spies, Archie the Archivist, Be the 8-Year-Old, Michael Shane, Tony the Home Theater Geek, Travis Johnson by Geek Show Arcade Help Desk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George K's medical bills. Jeremy, No Name, No Color, Keslo, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, The In-Between Rating plus 10, Matt Nelson, Harry Patch, Wesley, Adam, Stuart Lloyd. The problem with society is there's no molehills that can't be mountain climbed over. Nathan Drake and A24 and Adam Hecht.
That's 3.
Look at that flex. He does another one just to prove a point.
I've conquered it.
He has conquered it. All right. Whoa, that was loud. Anyway, thanks for making it to the end. We appreciate your download. We appreciate your listen. And we will see you next week. Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.